everyone's reign must come to an end at some point. But, you know, again, Creator, he's an amazing player. I'm sure we're going to see more of him next week. But enough about that, because now we have our first semifinals match. We were talking about it earlier. Korean versus Foreigner.
Yeah, the best of 5, no less, here on Lightshade LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner. We have the pink Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea. He is not quite the wing commander, but pretty close. He is, of course, known as the Smiling Assassin, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. We have herO.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have his opponent, I almost said Ukrainian, hailing from the lands of the Netherlands. It is, of course, representing Team Liquid, uThermal. The U in uThermal, like, sent me to Ukraine.
That's for
mate.
Ukraine. Yeah. I was gonna say, was Thermi not on a team with Bly at some point? I vaguely remember that.
uThermal was never on Acer.
He wasn't.
They weren't on
He was on
Expert.
Liquid for the longest time.
Yeah.
He wasn't on Expert either. And he wasn't on Lions. Alright, so yeah, no, I don't know where I got that from, because Bly has been on basically every iteration of Acer till they all expired, and uThermal has basically been on Team Liquid since the start of Legacy.
Yeah, it's just all TL, man. All TL.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and here he is. The madman is awake right now, despite it being, let me just do the quick math here. I think it's 5 a.m. I think it's 5 a.m. in the land of Europa.
7 hours behind Korea. I'm not sure if this daylight savings or not, but regardless, it will be about 7 hours. Or now it's 2 p.m. there. So 2.
Oh, 7 a.m.
12, 2, 3, 10. 7 a.m. There we go. The sun is rising over the land of the Nether.
It is. It's blinding right now, and we'll see if that's going to give uThermal the energy he needs to take down a player like herO. Bearing in mind, though, this is not a mirror matchup for herO. He is out of the PvPs. He's up against a Terran player. And uThermal, unlike herO, is a player that has been competing and increasing in skill all this time.
That he has. Even helping others increase their own skills.
Yeah, exactly. So far, things have opened up with herO being a little bit aggressive. He wants to try and delay this natural base, and it looks like he will, as the SCV will not be able to finish up this CC.
Getting a very long delay on that. Yeah, he's lost Zealot and an Adept for that, but well worth it here. StarCraft coming out, and this Hellion Reaper force is not really going to be able to do much against it. I mean, it's mostly just going to be there for scouting, but with how bruised up the Reapers are, uThermal really doesn't want to take any chances yet.
He really doesn't. And oh my god, 2 more gateways are finishing up, and we do have a robo behind this as well. Mate, I'm smelling a War Prism, and I'm smelling more Blink Stalkers, or I guess Stalkers in this case.
Yeah, no Blink just yet. We don't have a Twilight Council just yet. uThermal is dipping in. He sees a lot of gateways, so already a bit of a tell. And now he sees everything.
Wow, full scout for uThermal. Not just a scout, but he gets into the mineral line. Probes are falling left and right. Only 2 so far, but oh my god, even more are falling.
Yeah, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. But now a couple more start to go down. Very good damage coming out here from uThermal.
Now, the onus is on herO to do that counter damage. War Prism is on the way. Gateways have finished up. The problem is that uThermal saw all of this. Immediately, he scans. He takes out the Observer. He's going for a double drop as soon as the Observer went down, and it looks like herO will scout. He sees. He's going to intercept.
It's like, so boost puppy!
It's on cooldown! It's on cooldown!
Boost is on cooldown! The mines will at least survive. Wow. Well, I say that, but I forgot there was an Observer out.
Oh my god, everything was taken out. Now hero's going across the map. But did he cancel the War Prism? Okay, no, he didn't. Okay, I was like, I was shook. I was shooketh, mate. He's committed. He's going into the main.
Oh, there are already a couple of Marines here to meet them. Really good use of the ledge here from herO. Just preventing damage being dealt to the Warp Prism, trying to target down
Oh.
the tank. But it's so hard to do when you don't have Blink. The Marines really chipping away at the Stalkers.
He wants it. He
And
wants
now the
it.
tank's being repaired.
Yeah, exactly. It is being repaired and the tank will survive. One more shot is all that was needed to take out the tank. But unfortunately, herO did not have it with him. He did not have enough DPS there. And herO gets swatted away. He achieved nothing with that. He didn't kill the tank. He didn't kill any workers.
Yeah, the most you could say about that is that, you know, at least uThermal lost like a couple of seconds of mining time. He lost a couple of resources to repair that tank, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't do anything to slow him down.
Yeah, not really. He needs to achieve a little bit more here. That's why he's back into the main base. Yo, can he pick off the Raven? No, he cannot. The Marines are strong enough to push this away. A couple of Marines got picked off, but not the biggest of deals. Also, something that I love is that we see this every now and then nowadays, like once maybe a tournament, we have Glaives with +1.
Yeah. And he's being very aggressive with it. Now, obviously, with Glaives, or with Adepts rather, the general idea is you want to shade those Adepts right on top of the bio of the Terran player, so you get some friendly fire from tanks going on. And of course, those Glaives just decimate pure Marines. But we'll see if that's actually what happens here.
The problem is that we have a full wall off. If it wasn't for the wall, then herO could just break into the natural and wreak havoc in the bases of uThermal. But that's not the case here. Instead, herO has to find another way in. And yo, this madman, he wants to elevate her into the main? He's crazy.
With Warp Prisms? Oh, that's a massive risk.
Oh, God.
And he knows that, so he dips away. herO is just getting stonewalled left and right.
Exactly. Behind this, though, he realizes it. He takes a third. He's like, I cannot end the game. It's just not going to happen. He commits his shade, though. He's trying to force his way through the bunker.
Well, he may be able to take out the bunker, but not much else behind that. Anti-armor missile. Oh, no, herO. You're not going to commit to that shade, are you? He doesn't. Okay.
No way. No way. That'd be insane. In the end, he doesn't. But again, he was forced not to, right? Maybe if it wasn't for that anti-armor missile, maybe he would have kept going. But uThermal forced that decision to be made for herO. uThermal, he scans, confirms that the third base is on the way.
Yeah, he knows he has a much better army, but he still doesn't want to go for a big push before he hits his final form, so he just goes for drops for now. He knows that herO doesn't quite have the supply to spare to defend in 2 locations at once, especially if he wants to keep up the pressure.
Exactly. Speaking of the pressure, uThermal, we got some drops going across the map. He tried to pull them off earlier, but we saw them intercepted. Now, finally, he has defended at home. He feels safe enough, and 2 drops are headed towards the main.
Just like so.
Oh, are they going to be spotted, though?
Oh, they might.
As it looks like the probe is just barely in position, and he does see both of the medevacs. Meanwhile, oh my god, the Warp Prism has to be so careful. It almost gets caught out, and I don't think herO noticed.
I don't think he has a little bit preoccupied. Now he does. It's a little bit too late. Even if he defends that drop, uThermal already has a push going for the natural in the third.
Yeah, herO, he's being pulled apart because of the disastrous opener. He's looking to try and shade on top of the army, but the Widow Mine shots are going off. It looks like maybe he can get on top of the tank, but mate, that drop in the main is just, he killed so much.
GG. uThermal, or I'm sorry, XX uThermal XX has taken game number 1. To get on top of that tank, but there were mines defending that. The bio was already dealing with the Adepts. That was a game where herO, I don't know, it just felt like every time he tried to go for something, uThermal would just stonewall him.
Yeah, like, to be fair, like, I don't want to say disrespectful, but it was, like, really interesting to see herO go for glaive adepts like that. Like, that was like a hyper aggressive play, and
I like the idea of glaive adepts, you know, in theory. As you said, it's a hyper aggressive kind of style, and especially with uThermal, like, you know, he's gonna go for a bio heavy tank push, or even a Widow Mine push. If you can get your shade on top of that bio, there will still be friendly fire done regardless. And you know, never underestimate the effects of glaive adepts when it comes to attacking a bio force. But as you said, you need to be ultra aggressive with that, and you need openings for that to happen. uThermal, he knew exactly what was coming his way. He just closed up all of his gaps. He polished his armor, if you want to call it that. He sewed up his holes in his shirt.
Like, part of me would assume that I'm just gonna double check this, but I'm pretty sure that these two haven't played each other in a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if herO like has no idea who uThermal is. He's like, what?
They've met in IEMs before, you know.
Yeah, the last time they played was like Base Trade TV 2018 when herO 2-0'd him and 3-0'd him, because that was back when, you know, herO was in his prime, kind of. So
you can
yeah.
Tell that was Yeah, you can tell that was a long time ago because of Base Trade TV.
It's
true.
And
also 2018, I guess. But
that was a long time.
But regardless, now we're continuing our series here on 2000 Atmospheres LE, and I see a couple of TvP fans coming out here in the chat. Here we are on 2000 Atmospheres LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The Pink Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea. He has recently returned from military service. He has been utilized in that Spec Ops, as he is, of course, the Smiling Assassin. He is not herO, but he is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG, as herO.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the player hailing from the land of the Netherlands. It is the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is uThermal.
Ooh.
But
yeah.
I was just about to say regarding the previous game, like, again, like the style that herO was playing, like the fact that it didn't deal any damage, right? It's like he never got into a mineral line. He, if you remember, even when he went in with his initial War Prism and his Stalkers, he didn't even pick off a tank, Yaku. Like, he got nothing with all that aggression. That's why, like,
bunker, but now the unit's in the bunker.
that's why he did crumble when it came to the follow-up push. You know as well as I do that as well. Adepts, they don't scale very well when it comes to like the mid game. You know, like they're in the early game. They're kind of one and done in this matchup.
Do I know that?
I would assume so.
I have definitely played a lot of games where I underestimate the adepts and I end up losing. But yeah, you are right in that regard. Get a couple of Marauders out, you know, and there's not a whole lot that those adepts can do, especially if you're on point with target fire with your tanks, you know, making them target units that are away from those adepts getting into your bioforce, or even just defending your tanks when the adepts jump on top of that. It's just, you know, these players are the best of the best, and I am in Diamond League.
But we'll see how things go here, because you know what, herO going for some diamond plays, going for that gas steal against uThermal. I love it. herO, you know, really bringing it back, and oh my god, even throws down a proxy pylon to reinforce.
Ooh. So once again, more aggression coming out from herO, which is definitely what we come to expect. herO is not one to embrace macro play too much. Even if he does play macro, it's macro aggression. It's a macro style that allows him to hit a very powerful timing very early on.
And it's coming, mate. There we go. Gateways on the way. 2 more gateways are at home. We're going to have some 3-gate aggression. This time it's going to hit faster because he is not going to wait for a Warp Prism.
Yeah, but it does mean that he has a little bit less maneuverability. Especially now that there's a Cyclone out, he does not want to get his units locked on. But uThermal is looking to be aggressive across the map with them. He thinks that it's over from herO. And as long as he's on point with his walls, I think uThermal should be coming up ahead in this pseudo base trade. Harass versus harass.
100%, especially because like uThermal, he's going for like a 3-racks like after this factory. Like he's focusing on nothing but bioproduction right now. He's going across the map, and now suddenly herO has to be on the defensive.
Yeah, that reinforcing pylon is not seeing any action right now. He is forced to warp in back home. Even pulling the boys would just fall immediately to the Cyclones and to the Marines. This force has been dealt with, and it was a decently expensive army force. But Hero has lost 4 probes behind that. Uses a Stalker or 2 as well, I believe.
Yeah.
No Stalkers yet, but still.
Yeah, those probes going down was rough. Now a bunker's on the way. Hero would have already loved to have been hitting now, and if he was, then that bunker would have never been made. 2 Stalkers get picked off.
Just like that. Cycle continuing to just lock in on everything it can. 1 Stalker is not enough to stop that, and now uThermal gets a scout. Hero trying to do whatever he can across the map, and he is catching the army out of position. The Cyclone's finally dealt with, but there's about to be a flank of Marines, but here comes a flank of Stalkers!
Exactly,
GG
gets called. I was about to say that uThermal was getting absolutely surrounded there, pulled apart. He was not with the safety of his bunker, and Hero ties up the series.
Yeah, uThermal was looking really fantastic at the start of that game, and if he had a little bit more time, if those barracks is finished up, he would have completely smashed the Stalkers of Hero. I don't think Hero had a Twilight Council that game, or at the very least, he definitely wasn't getting Blink yet.
Not at all.
Yeah, uThermal with 3 racks with Stim would have completely demolished Hero, but there was a tiny window of opportunity for Hero to catch him in that transition, and Hero just went all in that window. He smashed that window wide open with his Stalkers.
Yeah, it also helps that uThermal held that window open as well. He overextended hard with his Cyclones chasing down those Stalkers. Like he like killed 2 Stalkers and then he just got ahead of himself a little bit. He just kept going. And because of that, like, he had nothing at his natural. What I mean by that is that there was a bunker there, but it wasn't filled with anything. There was nothing in that bunker, and it just went down immediately.
It's something you learn very quickly in the tropics. You know, if you leave your window open, you're getting fresh air. You're also getting mosquitoes. That's exactly what uThermal did.
There you go. He got all the mosquitoes.
He did. The analogy sounded a lot better in my head when you were like, uThermal held the window open. I was like, ah, yes, mosquitoes. Sounded a lot better. Then I actually said it out, and I'm like,
I feel like
okay, so the Stalkers are mosquitoes. What's the fresh air?
I feel like that's a very Singapore thing to think about. Oh god.
They have like PSAs telling us to close our windows because of mosquitoes. Yeah. It very much is. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our series here. Both players set up sideways 1-1. Now continuing on Blackburn. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player coming out from the Republic of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. DPG! He is the coolest skateboarder in the Africa studio. He is herO.
Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the South Korean, the
honorary South Korean.
I was gonna say the Hollish? No.
The Hollandaise.
Hollandaise?
Like the sauce.
Hailing from the land of the Netherlands and the Dutchland, if you will.
Yeah.
In a way. We have, representing Team Liquid, uThermal. No, as I was saying that intro, I was thinking about herO, and I have to wonder what it's like as a player like herO or Classic to come back to the game. I have to wonder what that does to the Korean community and to the Korean scene. Like, I know herO specifically had a pretty large fan club, and a lot of fangirls as well.
We were part of it.
And
Kuro was one of them.
And the thing is, like, a lot of that kind of dissipated. Obviously, a lot of that dissipated with the end of Pro League. But like the fan clubs were still a thing afterwards. But like after a player goes to the military, when they come back, like do those viewers and fans come back as well? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well, wouldn't they?
I have to ask like Maddox or Crank about that. But yeah.
I mean, you know, it might be a thing where, you know, if they're in the military and they were like one of the few players that the fans really got hyped about, then it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
like,
maybe
this
they
is, yeah,
lose
like,
a little bit of interest overall in the game, and maybe like they just kind of
like,
forget or don't notice when their favorite player returns. But you know, I
this
have to
is
imagine that
kind
if
kind
they
of
do,
like,
yeah, I have to imagine that if they do keep up with the game, then you know when a player returns from the military, they're like, all right, let's go.
well, the thing is that for a lot of these players, like, the only reason they kept up with the game, sorry, viewers, was because of that player. So then once the player
True,
leaves, and they
yeah.
stop watching. I do know that for high-profile players, this was the case for people like Rain and Flash. Is herO at that level? I don't know. Meanwhile, speaking of
That
herO,
definitely, yeah.
is herO
Yeah, this
across
is
the map?
definitely happened to me in other esports.
Understandable. But he's going for a Stargate opening.
All right. Is the first Stargate we're seeing out of herO in this particular series. Oracle first, of course, because might as well see what you can get done, but I have to imagine we'll have a Phoenix follow-up from there.
Yeah, as the first Oracle comes out, and ooh, we have a second one on the way afterwards. Meanwhile, Reaper does show up, but thankfully there is a shield battery here, so herO, he defends beautifully his main base. We have an Adept to chase us away, so the Reaper only really just gets scouting information.
Yeah, which
Oh!
is something nonetheless.
No.
Oh! That's a feels bad for every Protoss player out there. A feels amazing for every Terran player out there. uThermal placing that Widow Mine right on the edge of the slow zones, and even one by the slow zones, because he knows that that's where he was going for.
Mate.
Oh, look, it's gonna reset. It's gonna reset.
Oh, no! herO, please!
He was too slow to react. He gets the reveal,
Mate.
but immediately after that, the Oracle goes down.
Mate.
herO
Mate.
just lost 2 Oracles for nothing. What is that? 300 minerals?
It's
And a ton of gas?
It's
300 minerals,
mate.
300 gas? For nothing.
This one Widowmine has 2 Oracle kills.
Yes, that is. And it hasn't even been dropped on the other side of the map yet.
It hasn't.
It's already the MVP of this game.
Jesus Christ, just like that. And now herO, he's far behind. He's trying to like transition. He's getting a 3rd base. It's not at the goal, but it's a 3rd nonetheless, and this will help if uThermal doesn't go across the map. But mate, it's uThermal. Oh my god, the Phoenix just got taken out.
It's got 3 units there.
It's got 3 kills. It's got 3 kills, Yaku.
At a certain point, you're like, herO, stop sending your air units there.
He's like, he
know?
must have repositioned it, right? He's like, he must have moved it around, right? That's the logical thing, you know, because they're stationary. You know, they hit once, then you move them. That's how you play. No, mate, not in the Netherlands. The up is down and down is up, mate. It's
the land is sea.
Oh god.
And waffles are stroop.
The Strooper waffles are too big. I don't know what a Strooper
They're
waffle
way
is. I
too
still
big,
don't.
yeah. They're way too big. They don't fit on the mug well enough.
Uh,
But yeah, as you were saying, if herO has time, then he'll eventually come back in this game. I mean, he has a very solid worker lead, and if he can, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Like transfer that into a tech lead or into an army lead, then that would be great. But as you were saying, it is uThermal we're talking about. He loves his +1 pushes in TvP. I mean, he's kind of where I learned it all from. And
Yeah.
kind of reason why I only go for +1 pushes in TvP.
That's the thing.
And he's going for the Big Bang Boom on Blackburn. We're on the other side of the map immediately as a Terra player.
Exactly, on Blackburn. Meanwhile, the Adepts, they do not complete their shades. All the upgrades are about to finish up. We have a double jump going into the main base. Thankfully, herO is in position to intercept this, and best case scenario, he shuts down both drops before anything drops, which would be amazing. But what about the main push through the center of the map? Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that can stop that. There are some sentries, which I guess can cut the army in half.
Huh?
What's the follow-up to that? Slow zone!
Best case scenario!
Are actually killing both. That's best case scenario. GG immediately! GG immediately! uThermal did not realize how ahead he was in the army!
He was up to over 20 supply in the army, mate. Over 20.
My god, yeah, he could have kept that going. But I guess he did. I guess he saw those stalkers and he thought, you know, if they come into the front line, then you know, as ahead as I am, a lot of that is still in reinforcements back home. Yeah, as much as it is Blackburn, it would
I
still take a little bit of. I don't.
I
Very
I would go.
questionable GG timing,
I would
in
go
my
so far to
opinion.
say it wasn't a logic move there. uThermal again representing his race well, his race when it comes to not the Hollanese, but the Terran, and he just rage quit it out, man. He just lost 2 drops, and he was like, slam the desk,
Look, it's the
peaced
end.
out.
Look, it's the end of the night. You know, the sun is coming up. He is probably tired. He's probably pretty tired.
Oh yeah,
Coming in here, sitting
yeah.
up to watch DreamHack. So yeah, it's you get a little bit of
Like, look, it's
impairment when it
it's
comes
one
to
of those
decision-making
things.
there.
uThermal, mate, if you kill 2 oracles and a phoenix for free, and you can't handle losing 2 drops, like, mate, it was basically like
I mean, it
equalizing
was 16
blunders.
Marines.
Like, oh my god.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of the thing, right? Where as a Terran player, you're like, okay, I have to multi-prong, right? Because as a Terran player, that's where the strength of the race lies, right? He could have still won that game with that push, but
Yeah, 100%.
I get it. But it's like, you know, still not as you were saying, not a logic move. It's a
It was
bit more of an
emotional.
move
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Regardless, we are going to be continuing our series, potentially concluding our series, but I hope that's not the case because it's one of the first times ever we're seeing his opponent here, but I mean, we'll get to that later. In the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the pink Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea, going to be representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. He is the smiling assassin himself, the Prince of IEM, as he was once called, potentially the Prince of EPT, if he gets up to that level again. He is, of course, herO.
And spawning in. That's up right. Hand corner of Oxide LE. We have the man himself. He was looking so good last game.
He
was looking so
was.
good. He was looking so good until he thought he wasn't, but he really was. Hailing from the land of the Netherlands, representing Team Liquid, it is uThermal.
Now his opponent is up on match point. herO only needs un momento, and I'm hoping this isn't the map that concludes our series here. uThermal, it's probably the first time we've seen him make it to the top 4 of ESL Asia at the very least, and he's on absolute fire today. Game number 1, playing really well. Game number 2, still making some very good moves despite some questionable decisions that cost him the game, and then game number 3, I'm gonna say it, herO didn't win game number 3. uThermal just gave it up.
Yeah. It's also one of those things where, like, unlike us, you know, he doesn't have perfect vision and perfect information.
Yeah, to be fair.
In his mind, it's very possible that he thought that herO had a larger army than he really had,
Yeah,
right?
to be fair.
And that
Yeah.
maybe there was like some splash damage or something like that, right? He was just unawares, and that's why it was so heartbreaking to see uThermal throwing the towel then and there when it wasn't necessarily the time.
Yeah. For all uThermal knew, herO might have gotten the third base a bit quicker, you know, sometime between the first and the second Oracle, or sometime between the second Oracle and the Phoenix, right? And
Yeah.
by then, you know, the Protoss player would already have better tech and whatnot, but yeah. It's kind of a downfall of going for that bing bang boom style, as you like to call it. You're giving up your map presence and you're giving up your scouting information for a safer position with your eBay wall.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, herO actually slips in, delays the CC, being as annoying as possible. At the same time, uThermal goes across the map, going to try and get into a mineral line, but there is a Stalker to meet him.
And there is, but still getting a couple of probes, nonetheless. Pretty alright.
Oh my god, the missed micro by herO. Oh my god.
Yeah, pretty dang good. Not sure what that probe is doing, standing right in front of the Reaper, but good damage nonetheless. Thermal doesn't quite get a full scout, but he knows that, you know, herO is getting a wall off with his gateway, and yeah, with his gateway, so
Yeah, that was so unfortunate as well by herO. Like, if you saw, he was actually targeting down the Hellion all the way up until it only had like 1 HP left, and then he switched to the Reaper. So the Hellion stayed alive for no reason. That he just wasted like 4 shots on the Reaper. The Hellion just kept dishing out more damage. It's like, oh my god, herO, please. So yeah, that dealt more damage than it really had any right to. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of a Widowmine drop heading across the map, but herO does have eyes on it. He will be able to shut this down.
Already flanking the Stalkers. Oh, almost with Spike Ring, but yeah, now he's getting them. This medevac has no escape. No, man.
Oh, God.
This is the worst feeling in the world as a Terran player. Oh, there's a chance now.
Yeah, things have been opened up, so there is a way to escape, unless uThermal just wants to try and send it in and force his way through and try and drop the Widowmines at the last moment, which is also
not
quite
a bad
possible.
idea.
Yeah, we'll try.
Wise man once, as a wise man once said, an off timing just means that they won't be expecting it.
There you go. There you go. Catch them off balance, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we do once again have this very same opener. I say same opener, we have 3 gateways, War Prism was prioritized, but this time there is a Twilight Council behind this, which is interesting to say the least. So I guess there's a bit more of a follow-up here. Blink is done, my apologies, I did just notice that, and there's no tank in the main.
And there is not, the Riven immediately gets sniped, and the Stalkers get in position.
Wow.
That is gonna be it. GG. herO makes it to the finals of an ESL Asia for the first time ever. GG to uThermal. That, yeah. Very well played. Definitely, I mean, my Terran heart is breaking a little bit here to see how that's how that, you know, that's how that series concluded. uThermal is definitely on fire, but it's like 8 a.m. in the Netherlands right now.
Yeah.
He's definitely been up all night, so at the very least, he's going to be able to get some rest. You can definitely tell that, you know, that was starting to affect his play a little bit towards the end.
I think with confidence, we can say that, again, the fact that he did stay up until 7 a.m. to play, that did impact his performance today,
without a doubt.
This wasn't him, you know, at prime time for Europa, for example. And which is why it's so impressive that he was able to make it as far as he did and perform as well as he did, despite just staying up at god-awful hours. So massive shout out to uThermal.
Exactly. I was going to say on the flip side of that, you know, it's his first top 4 in ESL Open Cup Asia.
Yeah.
He was on fire at the start of that series, but unfortunately it, yeah, as you said, did have an staying up this long has had an impact on his play, and now herO goes to the finals of ESL Open Cup Asia for the first time.
That he does for the very first time. He made it through all the Protosses, all the Terrans, avoided the Zergs. Speaking of Zergs, did we get an update on Solar versus BL? Did that happen?
That did in fact happen. Right now we have Cure versus Solar, the ace match happening right now on Steadfast channel. So with that is gonna go up against Zest in our second semifinals.
Can't believe the upper semis hasn't even started.
Yeah. Well, it's Cure versus Solar. What do you expect?
True.